Hi folks, quick shout out to two college buddies. First, Mr. Lumpers, upon hearing of my dehydration plight, promptly sent me a nice hydro flask in the mail, which I just received and have been using this week. It's essentially a vacuumed thermos about the size of a standard sports drink. Typically I've gone to either PT sessions or to my blood work on Monday with a sports drink in the car. Upon arrival, I leave it in the car for when I come back. Of course, the car sits, gets hot, and I end up with a very warm sports drink. Not with the hydro flask, keeps it nice and cool. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lumpers. Also to Dr. Taco DDS, who was nice enough to take a CT scan with a new software package that he got on his Panorex. That showed on a tooth, an old root canal, that we weren't sure if there was an infection or not infection. That clearly with the 3D CT scan that there was an infection present. This past Monday I was referred to an oral surgeon who extracted the tooth, thus eliminating the infection. Thank you, Dr. Taco. Okay, on to this week's blood work from Monday. Excellent results. The two I'll talk about. Hemoglobin dropped a bit down to 7.9, still above our 7 limit, and haven't had to have a transfusion for quite some time. Creatinine is at 1.42. We'll keep an eye on that. Just a note, next Monday on the blood work we'll add the definitive assays for the M protein, for the free light chains and electrophoresis, to keep an eye on that every other week. Now that the cancer is unchecked with no chemo, the game we are playing is getting to the stem cell transplant over the next 5 weeks before the cancer can come back and do any significant damage. To get a heads up on that, we will add these assays every other week, and then perhaps if it starts moving up we could add some dexamethasone. We don't have too many options there because, again, we can't add the chemotherapy because we're trying to save the stem cells and get the body to recover for that collection process. On to the collection process. Since I've just alluded to that, a little bit more clarity there on what is involved. Number one, there are not enough stem cells in my bloodstream at this moment in time to do a collection that would yield a significant number of stem cells. There just isn't. Stay primarily in the bone marrow. Just a few are floating around in the bloodstream. Number two, we have no way to collect them. So what is going to happen first, this will be like the second week of August, they will implant a 2-lumen catheter, very similar to what I had for the dialysis. Almost the exact same setup. Whereas one tube, the blood will go into the stem cell collecting machine. The stem cells will be collected, blood will be returned through the other lumen back into my body. Number two, you're probably saying, well, obviously you just told us that you don't have very many stem cells. Correct. Prior to the actual collection process, I'll be taking, I believe, 3 injections at home myself called GCSF injections, which essentially jumpstart the stem cell production in the bone marrow to the point that you get such a high concentration they flow over into the blood to a concentration level that you can then collect adequately over a 4 to 5 hour period and get a significant number that you can use for the transplant. I believe the target number is 3 million stem cells. Before you go in for the stem cell collection, after you've had these 3 injections that you've taken at home, you get another injection, Mozobil. That drug is given at the hospital the night before you come in for the collection process. So I hope that clears up what is going to go on for the stem cell collection. 2 basic procedures that have to be done. Number one, implanting the catheter for hookup to the stem cell collection machine. And number 2, taking various injections to mobilize the cells to produce greater stem cells than normal and get them to flow over into the bloodstream so you can collect an adequate quantity. Okay, that's where we stand. Next week I have another education meeting with Dr. Jana, as well as a bone biopsy, which I'm not looking forward to. That's where we're actually going to get the concentration of cancerous plasma cells that exist in the core sample that they're going to take out. I had this done previously to stage the cancer at the beginning, and I was 100%. In other words, all the cells in the core are cancerous plasma cells. So look at it, I cannot get any worse than that. So we'll see what that value is next week and then go from there. Stay tuned, hang with me. Cheers, peace.